Good morning.
Best weekend ever.
We've just had such a great time on the air so far since 6 o'clock yesterday morning. And it's 6 o'clock today. It literally is 24 hours since I was last here doing this. Best weekend ever for Radio Harrow, where we cram a year's worth of broadcasting into one weekend so you can see what we're about. On the corridor leading up to Costa Coffee, and we're going to find out whether it's open. Now, where are you at the moment?
I'm looking down the main corridor of Norfolk Hospital on level 4.
And we'll see whether coffee or tea is now going to be allowed.
I'm walking now down the main corridor. I don't know if it's open or not. I can see lights.
Oh, you can see lights.
I'm actually, for the first time, I'm walking towards the light because I can tell you that Costa Coffee is open.
It is open! Yay! Coffee is going to be coming to Radio Harrow's mouthed in the studio. Ugh, that's a bit weird, sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. I have my latte here in the studio. What have you got?
I have a decaf tea.
Decaf? So hang on, hold on. All this time, we've been discussing about how we need caffeine, and you've gone for the decaf option. What we're going to do is refuel. Get your cup.
Mine's very hot.
Here we go.
It's very hot.
Oh, it's better.
Oh, I can't feel my tongue anymore.
Okay. So the show at 10 o'clock will sound brilliant then, won't it? Okay, we're going to play a game called Big Scary Animal.
And I was at home singing along to this one day, and I just kind of started to mumble it. And you know when you sing the same song again and again and again, you start to mumble more and more.
Okay. You were just playing around, yeah?
Yeah, and then I started to add my own words in.
Okay, so each of us have got to write an adjective.
But obviously not big.
But not big, but something like that.
A one-syllable adjective, right?
So now we've written that down, we fold it over.
Yep. So I'm passing mine to David.
Passing it round.
Maisie's passing to me. Another adjective ends with a Y.
Okay, fold it over. Right, so we're moving it to our left again.
Yep. Any object with 3 syllables.
So now we pass it round again, so we all have our original one we started with.
Yep. We quickly open the paper and then read what we have.
Love is, love is, love is.
A small, flashy trampoline.
Hey!
Love is, love is, love is. A pink, fluffy caravan. Love is, love is, love is.
A wide, hairy Labrador.
Hey, that actually works.
Best weekend ever.
Anyway, sit back, relax, open your ears and enjoy Sunday brunch on the best weekend ever. I'm joined now by Brett Loft, the station manager of Stanmore Fire Station.
Been in the fire brigade for 22 years. I had the unfortunate experience of being at the Paddington train crash and the London bombings back in 2005.
And so here in northwest London, what is the most common call-out for the London Fire Brigade?
We do have our fair share of car accidents, quite often to do with people texting behind the wheel. And it's something we're encouraging people not to do.
What can the public do to stay safe during firework and Diwali season?
Well, the safest thing with fireworks is to go to organised displays. If you do have fireworks at your own house, etc., you have as much space between you and the people watching as possible. If you light one and it doesn't go off, don't go back to it.
And how long should you leave it for?
I would leave it till the morning. And then Diwali, a lot of tea lights tend to be used, so you should always use a heat-resistant holder. You should never leave them unattended. And especially before you go to bed, is to put them out.
He's from Londonist, Jeff Marshall. Hello, Jeff.
How are you?
270 stations in 16 hours.
I'm not the current record holder, 15 hours, 45 minutes.
Are you looking to reclaim it at some point?
I am, but I'm not getting any younger. You have to be quite fit to do this. You have to run around.
Harrow and Wembley and Pinner was known as Metroland. And some of the stations we have here haven't changed since they were probably built in the 1930s.
Did you know that South Harrow Station was almost going to be called Rockfest Tube Station? I only found that out the other day.
The first time I ever went to Uxbridge.
Yeah, it's a beautiful old station designed by a famous tube architect called Charles Holden. Because it's at the end of the Piccadilly line, it's set to mirror Cockfosters Station. So Cockfosters and Uxbridge are actually very similar in design.
I'm here with Sergeant Munib Istiak from the Harrow Police. Now, do we have a problem with burglary in Harrow?
Harrow's mainly a residential area,
Sure.
so burglary is probably one of the main crimes over there because we've got more houses than we have shops. If you're going to leave the house for a long period of time, make sure that you have lights on in the house or a TV going. If you see someone who's being a bit suspicious and you think maybe not breaking into a house, or it might be someone who's just standing there staring at a thing, then you can call either 999 or 101.
Talking about Diwali, what dangers could we face crime-wise?
burglars know, most Indian families will bring their gold out from the safety deposit boxes in the bank. Make sure you've got pictures of the gold, so that if something does happen, then you've got a picture so you can give it to police, because most Indian jewellery is very distinct and unique.
Hear him alongside Scott Mills on BBC Radio 1. It is, of course, Chris Stark.
The best thing about my job is being able to do it. To be honest with you, a lot of it stems from stuff that I was doing when I was at Radio Harrow.
You have this sort of platform to just be creative.
Really treat it like a place that you can go and be creative, and don't just feel that you have to turn up and just do the radio show. And you know what? Sometimes there aren't that many people listening, but that doesn't make it any less exciting if you've got that passion to want to do that radio show for the right reason. I really do think it's an unbeatable experience. I had some of the best times in my life when I was involved with Radio Norfolk Park, as it was at the time. And I'm really proud of that. I still say one of the proudest moments for me was winning a hospital broadcasting award. A few of us from the radio got to go to Belfast, this award ceremony, and I was really proud.
Best
weekend
ever. Radio Harrow's
Best weekend ever.
Best Weekend Live, and we are live for a very special show because we are at the Harrow Arts Centre. I am Sarika and I'm joined by Will. Hello, Will.
Hello, how's it going? You okay?
All good, all good. Are you excited about this show?
I can't wait to hear them perform. I can't wait to speak to them, learn more about them and what they do and kind of what their inspirations and desires are. And yeah, it's just going to be really exciting.
Patrick and Ruhi, who are here from the 100% group.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
We started playing together like a week ago, so we just kind of were jamming and we played the song and it sounded nice, so yeah.
What does performing mean to you?
I feel like I'm another person when I'm doing it. Like, it takes me to a happy place.
You become the music. That's what it means for me. It becomes something more than just myself.
So could you tell us a bit more about the 100% group?
Yeah, so they are a group that kind of just run music events all over Harrow for local performers. I think they do a really good job.
We are joined now by Simon Fielder, who is the producer of Buddy Holly and the Cricketers.
As musicians, we'd all listen to Buddy Holly anyway, and as a guitarist, you kind of learn Buddy's stuff.
That's brilliant, and I'm sure you've added your own little taste to this story.
What is very much about Buddy being on the road now, and I think the great thing about music nowadays is there's no real sense of, that's old, or, they all have obviously been brought up listening to their parents' or grandparents' records. 2 hours of unremitting rock and roll and fun.
Best weekend ever.
Roshni, how's it going?
Hi. So we organise the events here at Harrow Arts Centre for musicians, dancers. We do comedy a bit as well. We started doing stand-up comedy events.
What is your relationship with the producers in this? So you guys are the performers.
We started about a year ago, so yeah, we've loved it.
And Manifa and Roshni are like, what's the relationship like with you guys? How do you do? How's it keeping these guys in check?
Well, it's a full-time job, I can tell you that. But yeah, Roshni's kind of the boss, really.
And we've got Tala, who's ready and raring to perform, and he's going to be performing his own song, which he wrote last night.
I've been drinking lately. I've been thinking about so many things.
What is your songwriting process when you go into it?
Got bored and I just picked up the guitar. It's just like the first thing that came into my head.
Have you had any other kind of interest of wanting to be anything else before you wanted to be a musician?
I guess something unrealistic, like a footballer.
Yeah.
Would be quite cool. I wouldn't mind being an astronaut. But...
Yeah, it's all right. I wanted to be a wrestler at one point and clearly it never happened.
We've got Sean and Solomon who are ready and raring to perform. Take it away, guys.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's.
Who inspires you the most?
If we had to go with a shared one, it would be David Bowie.
Yeah, I've been a fan of him for a long while, but then the more I started to dig into the deeper cuts of his music, the more my musical style started to change as well.
But we are joined now by Charlotte, who is a senior programmer at the Harrow Arts Centre. Hello, Charlotte.
Hi. As you said, I'm kind of the creative brains behind the outfit at the moment.
Oh, it's always interesting. You never know what's going to happen any day at Harrow Arts Centre. And obviously, we've got this amazing heritage building. And there's a lot of talk of there being ghosts around the building as well. But you're right, it's an incredible history. And, Charles Dickens was on the Board of Governors.
I mean, how does that make you feel, know that you're running such an important place?
It's just really rewarding. Obviously it's a lot of work behind the scenes to keep it going, and the team here have to work really hard to make everything happen. But there's nothing more rewarding than seeing happy people passing through the building, having valuable life experiences. Nothing can compete with that.
So yeah, I have a dream to be a B-O-double-S is the scene. Night after night I stayed at home working on flows, gas triple S mode that came with the smooth shirt.
So when you were writing those lyrics, what were you thinking about?
I like to push always a positive message without the lyrics, but as musicians I feel that we have a responsibility and a duty to portray a message.
Best weekend ever.
It has
been
the best
weekend ever. We've loved this show. We've been live at the Harrow Arts Centre.
Best weekend ever.
With me now is Steve Fiver from Harrow Gateway. Steve, welcome to Radio Harrow.
Hi there. Well, Harrow Gateway is a small independent charity. We provide social activities for people with learning disabilities. Our service users are people with either, say, Down syndrome or autism. We provide an environment for people with learning disabilities to engage and mix with their peers. The level of development of our members when they're in an environment with their own peers is remarkable. Yeah. One example, I'm not going to name names, but he was a very shy, retiring type, used our services and now is one of the loudest, most rambunctious characters. We've helped him come along leaps and bounds.
So I'm here in the studio with Leah. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. And you're from Mind in Harrow?
That's correct.
So what is Mind in Harrow? What does it do?
So Mind in Harrow is a charitable organisation that support people living in Harrow with experience of mental health difficulties or caring for people with mental health difficulties. It could be schizophrenia, psychosis, depression. There is still a stigma around mental health, and that's one of the things our charity wants to try and break down. And it's about how we think about it and how we treat people, and don't have to have a diagnosis to be suffering from mental health difficulty. It could be someone that is just going through a really stressful period in their life.
Veronica Chamberlain from the Heath Robinson Museum in Pinner.
Well, William Heath Robinson was an artist and he lived in Pinner between 1908 and 1918. He began as a landscape painter and he developed these humorous cartoons, which were, some of them were comments on contemporary life, and some of them, as you say, were very elaborate contraptions which had machines held together with bits of string and cogs and wheels and doing silly things. So we were awarded 1.3 million from the Heritage Lottery Fund, which was absolutely essential to build the museum. And I'd really like to thank all the players on the lottery for their support, because without them, we wouldn't have a museum.
Best weekend ever.
Living with diabetes, we're going to talk about our experiences and what we do and everything.
Matt Pulford. I've had type 1 diabetes for 32 and a half years.
Liz Warren, type 1 diabetes for 51 years. I work as a volunteer for Diabetes UK.
I'm James, I was diagnosed with type 1 just over a year ago.
And I'm Pierre Petru. I am type 1 as well for the last 7 years.
Nobody knows what causes it. Lots of people with type 1 diabetes have a lot of different autoimmune conditions.
So are these all the complications that come
No,
with...
no, they are absolutely not complications of diabetes.
Oh, okay, they're separate completely.
Yes.
That's
you
right,
don't become type 1 as a result of starting at type 2. It's vital that you balance the amount of carbohydrate and sugars you eat. It's not just sugar, it's carbohydrate. Peas or chapatis or things like that are all loaded with carbohydrate.
In case of someone with type 1 diabetes, they don't produce any insulin, or they produce such a small amount it's not measurable. So they have to inject, or in my case I have insulin pump therapy. Type 2 is slightly different in that it's a metabolic disorder in which the body still produces insulin but it cannot be used effectively.
When I was diagnosed, I went through a huge, big depression thing about it and a whole lot of confusion. I started drinking far too much, so I think I was probably rebelling against it all. Thankfully, I had a lot of support around me, and that's very important. They can be and have been a great help.
What advice would you give someone living with diabetes?
Need to accept it. That's quite important. It's not something that's going to go away. It doesn't have to be the enemy.
Now, James, the question for you is, what advice would you give someone without diabetes?
Get yourself tested, for one thing. It's better to go for nothing than to not go and you discover something.
Just the final word then.
Yes, yes, please.
Diabetes is only a word. It's not a sentence.
And welcome to the best weekend ever. And this is the best quiz ever. I'm Louis.
I'm Pat. Hello.
It's a good time for everyone. And you can join in, of course, at home or wherever you are listening to this.
My name's Anna. Hello.
In the middle there, it's Maisie.
Yes, hello.
I'm Brian, originally from Pinner.
First round is music. Rick Astley's hit single, Never Gonna Give You Up, found new life on the internet in a craze known as Rickrolling. But other than Give You Up, name 3 things he claims he'll never do.
Let you down, turn around and desert you, say goodbye.
Correct on all 3.
Let you down.
Let you down.
Run around.
Run around.
Or hurt you.
Hurt you. Well done.
Ding ding.
I'm not even going to bother, but I've got sing opera.
Sing opera.
So eat meat and be sensible.
So hopefully geography, you'll be able to clean up some points here. Which country is the highest above sea level on average?
Nepal.
I put Tibet.
Indonesia.
Indonesia, the island nation of Indonesia. Nepal is the second highest on average. It is actually Bhutan. Don't worry, we've still got one more round. And it's sport, your favourite.
Okay.
In which sport would you use the moves the flunge, passata soto, and riposte?
I've put gymnastics.
I think it's fencing.
Bob Skeleton.
It's fencing.
Ooh.
Riposte. Ha-ha.
Ah.
Brian is on 8. Anna is on 6. Maisie got 11.
Yeah, I know. I figured
So,
that.
Maisie, you're going through.
Yay.
You're reaching the final.
On my left here we have Nick.
Very excited.
Hi, it's Mima.
And on my right here we have Richard Wyborn. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good.
This one's going to be history. When did King's Cross Station in London first open?
1890.
1900.
I put 1850.
1850 is actually exactly correct. It's science and technology. What is the largest organ in the human body?
Oh dear, I better be careful what I say here, actually. As in length, or as in volume?
Length.
Oh, I changed my answer.
Oh.
I put intestines. Sorry,
I said intestines too. Let's keep this going. Come on, I want to find out.
Intestine.
The answer, guys, is skin, and it's the largest in the human body. Mima, you scored 2. Richard was on 3, and Nick got 5 for that.
And we've worked out that Mima is unfortunately the person who came in last place. So you are awarded our booby prize. But thank you very much for taking part. Let's have a round of applause. And the prize is a collection of haikus about snails. Nicholas.
Hi.
And Maisie.
Hello.
For our final round.
We have 2 Kinder Surprise eggs.
Thank you.
So your challenge for the final will be to unwrap your egg, consume the chocolate within, and assemble the toy in the fastest possible time.
Begin.
Oh my goodness, interesting technique. Nick has gone for the smash rather than the unwrap. Oh, but she does have shards of chocolate left to go. Still chocolate in mouth from Maisie. Some sort of scooter here from Maisie that's being assembled.
And I believe on Nick's side it is a frozen troll.
How's the frozen troll coming along?
It's looking very, very close to completion.
Oh my goodness, what is that supposed to... Oh, it's complete!
Oh
my God,
it was so close. That was exactly the same time.
I literally saw those hitting the ground at the exact same time.
Can we call it a tie?
Do you want to share the prize?
Do you want to share the prize?
I'll call it a tie. Everyone's a winner.
Right now, this is the NHS Hour. We turn the tables and ask the nurses, doctors, and staff what brings them to Harrow.
We're here with
Louise, Hilary, Vicky. We're patient transport drivers for private ambulance service. They're based in Essex. Today we're all up at Northwick Park covering here, Ealing and Central Middlesex hospitals.
And what has been your proudest moments each?
When you take one of the patients home and they just say they're so thankful, you know, that they're home safe and things, that's just why we kind of do the job, I think.
Outside of these walls, do you have any hidden talents or any kind of hobbies?
I can eat a lot.
She's not lying.
It's called Rudy by the Specials. Just makes me
It
smile.
Makes us happy.
Love it.
My name's Shamal and I'm here with Lucci, who works at Northwick Park Hospital.
Working in ambulatory emergency care unit. Okay, I've been a nurse for more than 20 years.
Wow.
Well, nursing just grew into you. It's more like afterwards, there's no other work that I know rather than just nursing.
So you love it, you love doing it.
Yes, it becomes you actually. Even if you're not working, you're still thinking as a nurse. Michael Ball.
Do you want a Michael Ball song?
Yes.
Any Michael Ball song?
Michael Ball song. This is the Moment, maybe. I like his rendition of This Is the Moment by Michael Ball.
Thank you very much.
This is the moment.
So I'm Bethany. I work in the Project 7 ward in St Mark's Hospital.
But I get from the accent that you're not from around here originally.
No, I'm here. I'm from the north of Scotland.
What would you say the most rewarding part of your job is?
The feedback that you get from the patients and like seeing the difference that you make for them, and like if they're not feeling great or whatever, and then like just chatting to them, and then you can you can see sometimes that it just cheers them up a bit.
Is there a song that you like to dedicate to anyone in particular?
The Christine and the Queens, Tilted. Great song, just big fan.
Rosie, tell us what you do here at Northwick Park.
So I am something called a physician associate. It's a new job to the NHS, it's a new profession, and there's only 250 UK physician associates. It's a very new profession here. I think it can be a real roller coaster working in A&E. You can have really good days, really bad days. I think whenever you make a patient smile, or you take their pain away or stop their dizziness, they can just be so grateful, and they're the little victories that are quite nice, I think.
What kind of music do you like?
Do you know what? We've got a really good team in A&E. We have a good Christmas party every year, and we always get down on the dance floor, so I'd probably choose Dancing Queen by ABBA.
Radio Harrow's Best Weekend Ever.
Radio Harrow's Best Weekend Ever.